everyone, this is Heidi from Cavalia Bodywork. I know a lot of us are working from home these days for the next little while and maybe sitting a lot more than usual, hopefully still getting out and walking a lot. I like to think so. But I wanted to talk a little bit about posture and what maybe you could do if you're finding that your back's getting a little stiff or tired from sitting a little bit more. So a lot of us think and have been conditioned to think that good posture is sitting up really erect, tall, maybe pinning the shoulder blades down and back, and you maybe even pulling them down so we're not scrunching our shoulders up towards our ears. But that's really exhausting, and I hear people almost every day and tell me how frustrated they are that they can't hold their good posture for very long. And it's no surprise to me because that's a lot of strain. It's a lot of pushing and pulling and all the different parts of our spine that are trying to hold us up against gravity. So I wanted to offer some suggestions to try, and if it's coming in and out of posture, that's great. There's really no one perfect posture. I do strongly believe we're built for movement, and so try different postures. That's great. And so one thing that I would like to maybe kind of create as either a break from your normal posture or maybe start to incorporate as your default posture is really sitting back towards the edge of the chair, using the chair, and not just slumping back and using the chair, but really like feeling your low back against the chair, mid back against the chair, and using it as a support to help keep your diaphragm level over your pelvic floor. When we sit tall, we often are bringing our diaphragm in front of our pelvic floor and losing a lot of the connection of our core. So even just this simple kind of keeping our diaphragm stacked over our pelvic floor will take a lot of strain off the spine because the core can work as it's intended to. It's sort of stacked up nice and neatly. And then additionally, maybe pushing the feet into the ground a little bit, and even maybe pulling them in towards your glutes, kind of getting a little bit more hamstring engagement here. Hamstrings really aren't doing anything at all when we're sitting. Often they're like even worse, they're getting like overstretched, especially if we're doing any splaying, or then our pelvic floor and pelvis in general is off balance if we're crossing our legs. But ideally, knees parallel or legs parallel, feet pushing into the ground, maybe even isometrically pulling in towards the chair, in towards your glutes, and low back into the ground. Now this also will feel like a very active sitting pose, and so I don't expect you to hold that for hours while you're typing, but to come in and out of getting the hamstrings engaged, getting some deep core, some low back engagement into the chair, I think will give you a lot of relief from just the constant pulling back that the muscles do. There's a lot of extension that happens in sitting, even though it's been sort of blamed as such a flexion kind of pose, that we're stuck in all this flexion from sitting. We are hip flexion, but our back ends up in a lot of extension. So this is just to help ease some of that extension that happens and give those spinal muscles a break. If you have any other ideas, thoughts, I'd love to hear them. Thanks for watching.